Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on where you're watching us from. My name is David Corvala. I'm staffing coordinator here at Encora, Mexico, and I will be your host for today's session. In this talk, we'll be exploring the role of Azure Monitor, application insights, container insights, and log analytics in providing comprehensive monitoring solutions for applications running in Azure Kubernetes Services environment, as we've seen in numerous Azure-based projects here at Encora. We'll discuss how these tools work together to identify and troubleshoot issues, improve performance, ensure seamless application management. You'll leave with practical next steps to enhance your DevOps processes and increase the overall efficiency of your AKS monitoring strategy. Now, before I introduce our wonderful host for today's session, I would like to give you a quick reminder to follow us on social media, set notifications, subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all the different things that are going out throughout this year here at Encora, as well as being up to date with this Global Dev Week, as this is just one of many chats and talks that we'll be having throughout this week organized by Encora. And also, just one more quick reminder that any questions or comments or discussions that you might have there that you would like to chime in, we'd love for you to leave that in the chat, as both us and the global Encora community, as well as our speaker for today, will be there in the chat right alongside to answer any questions or just have some interesting discussion between all of us. And now, regarding our host for today's session, I'd love to introduce you to Luis Miguel Copa. He's got a robust passion for technology and has gained diverse experience by contributing to startups, financial entities, and international corporations. He's someone that is continuously seeking to broaden his knowledge, particularly in the domains of automation and artificial intelligence. He's also got quite the set of qualifications, from certifications in Amazon Web Services all the way to today's topic, Microsoft Azure. His technical proficiency spans across different key technologies such as Kubernetes and Cisco systems, so no more capable hands to leave you with than with our very own Luis Miguel Copa. Take it away, Luis.
Hello everyone, I'm Luis Miguel Copa Diaz. I am excited to be sharing insight about Azure Monitoring in AKS today at Devweek by Encora. We have an exciting presentation ahead, so let's get started. Today we'll cover three main sessions. Initially, we will delve into the concept of Azure Monitoring for AKS and its purpose and why it's essential for your projects. Following that, we will explore the benefits and lessons learned from implementation, featuring Encora's own experience as a focal point. Finally, we'll showcase a case studies detailing how Azure Monitoring works in AKS, bringing these concepts to life. We'll start by introducing Azure Monitoring for AKS, a power tool in our DevOps arsenal. Next, given the rapidly changing technology landscapes, monitoring is no longer just about performance checks. It's about maintaining system health, ensuring user satisfaction, and driving business success. It's like these memes, what happened when we don't have any monitoring tools? It's a disaster and chaos. And the other meme shows us what happens if we apply these tools, everything is much better. Next, take a look at this diagram from Microsoft Azure Monitor documentation. It presents an overview of Azure Monitoring consisting of data source, data platform, and consumption in this case. Well, we start with data source. Azure Monitor can collect data from multiple sources, including from your application, operating system, the service they rely on, and from the platform itself. First, the application performance, health, and activity data. Next, the infrastructure that consists in containers and operating systems. Next, we have the Azure platform itself. And this consists in Azure resources, Azure subscriptions, and Azure tenant. All the data about the operation tenant level Azure services such as Azure Active Directory. Next, finally, custom source, data which gets into the system using Azure Monitor REST API. Next, we have the data platform. Azure Monitor stores data in data store for each of the pillars of observability. In this case, metrics, logs, distributed traces, and changes. First, metrics are numerical values that describe an aspect of a system at a particular point in time. It supports native Azure Monitor metrics and Prometheus metrics. Next, we have the logs that are recorded system events, logs that can contain different data, be structured on different free-form states. They contain a timestamp in this case. Next, we have the distributed tracing, allow us to see the path of a request as it travels through different services and components in this case. Changes are a series of events in your application and resources. Next, we have the consumption field. In this case, the following section unload methods and services that consume monitoring data from the Azure Monitor data platform. In this case, we have the insights. Some Azure resources providers have created visualization that provide a customized monitoring experience and require a minimal configuration. Insights are large, scalable, curated visualization in this case. Next, we have in the insight section, application insights that monitor the ability of performance and usage of your web application. We have container insights, give you performance visibility into container workloads. VM insights monitor your Azure VMs in this case. Network insights provides a comprehensive and visual representation of the topologic and network of your resources in this case. Next, we have the section of visualize, and visualization is such as charts and tables are effective tool for summary monitoring data and presenting it to a different audience in this case. First, we have Azure Dashboard, allows you to combine different kinds of data into a single pane in the Azure portal in this case. Next, we have workbooks, provide a flexible canvas for data analysis for the consumption of rich visual reports in the Azure portal. Next, we have Power BI. It's an incredible tool. It's a business analytics service that provides interactive visualization across various data sources and Grafana in this case. Next, we have Analyze. The Azure portal contains built-in tools that allow you to analyze monitoring data. In this case, the first Metric Explorer. Next, we have Log Analytics, is that a user interface in Azure portal, and Change Analysis. That is a subscription-level Azure resource provider that checks resources changes. Finally, we have an effective monitoring solution, in this case, with a response that is proactively respond to critical events without the need for an individual or team to notice the issue in this case. First, we have alerts that notify you of critical conditions and can take corrective actions in this case. Next, we have the autoscale allows you to dynamically control the number of resources running to handle the load of your application in this case. And finally, Azure Logic Apps is a service where you can create and route automatic workflows with little or no code in this case. Each of these components play a crucial role in our monitoring journey. They enable us to maintain system health, guarantee user satisfaction, and drive business success. Due to our time limit in this case, we'll focus on key services. Container insights is up first. This Azure Monitor service lets us monitor, diagnose, gain insights into the performance of our AKS workload. It helps us understand how our applications are running and how resources are being utilized. Next, it's Log Analytics. This Azure Monitor tool helps us to collect and analyze data generated by resources in our cloud and on-premise environment. With it, we can have real-time insights into research capability and custom dashboard to understand our data better. Next, and finally, we have application insights. This application performance management, or APM in this case, service helps us to monitor our live application. It detects performance anomalies and provide us with powerful analytics tools to make data-driven decisions. Next, to bring this into perspective, here's an example of application insights implementation in C#. As you can see, it allows developer to seamlessly monitor their application, gather telemetry, and diagnose issues. In this case, it's a simple library that you have to implement in your code, and is available in many programming languages. Next, now let's get practical. We're going to discuss a case study based on Encora experience with Azure Monitor in AKS to highlight the real-world impact of these solutions. Well, before Azure Monitoring was implemented, our team had numerous challenges, identifying bottlenecks, troubleshooting issues, and monitoring the overall health and performance of the AKS environment. And it was difficult and time-consuming. Like these graphics, we don't know what's happening because we don't implemented any of these tools, and everything, it will be a chaos in this case. Next, after implementing Azure Monitoring, things changed dramatically. We saw improved issue detection, efficient troubleshooting, enhanced performance, and superior application management. We can see different levels of implementation of monitoring tools, like from Azure tools to external tool AKS like Prometheus and Grafana. And we have an insight of everything in AKS, in this case, like containers, like namespaces, controllers, and every object in Kubernetes. Well, our journey with Azure Monitoring taught us several key lessons. The need for ill integration, effective cost management, the importance of security monitoring, the value of complexity tooling, the necessity for continuous learning and adaptation, and proactive alerting is a game changer. Well, before we wrap up, I would like to give you a live demonstration on how to create alerts and dashboard using Azure Monitor. This demo will take approximately 5 minutes in this case. I will end this, and I will try to show the Azure portal in this case. Well, in this case, we have our AKS instance. In this case, we have namespaces in this case. Well, in this session, we have the alerts. We provide with this tool, like the all alert that is in informational states. In this case, we can create our alert groups. In this case, next we have this important tool, like you have the application insights, and you have to provide, in this case, with your graphics. And we have to handle with dashboard to click here. And next we have this application Encora Devweek dashboard that have a completely all features that we need to monitor our application. For the alerts, we have something that is incredible, because with some trigger an alert, we have email. In this case, we have this fire severity tree, Azure Monitor alert memory, and we provide these messages to any team member that needs it in this case. And finally, it will be this section in container insights in this case. That's it. Container insights that have all the Kubernetes objects that we provide us, like cluster, reports, nodes, controllers, and containers. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this session gave you valuable insight into Azure Monitoring for AKS, and you're leaving with useful knowledge that you can apply to your projects. Okay, goodbye, and keep innovating.
Actually, before I let you take off, Luis, I'm by no means a technical person, right? But I've kind of had like this really good luck of going through like a very specific set of sessions that kind of brings up a few questions that one that I'd like to ask you. Um, so I know it has to depend, on the complexity of your system, the complexity of your organization, and whatever, a lot of factors could determine this answer. But you know, there is of course going to be a learning curve in going like understanding how to properly monitor and how to actually utilize the data that you're gathering from your monitoring. Do you have any advice for people that are seeking to implement better or maybe initial monitoring to their systems?
Yes, in this case, for example, in Azure, we have many tools that is automatically enabled, but some tools are you have to create the resources to analyze all this data. For this reason, if you have some resources and for maybe some reason you don't have enabled, it's a good option to turn up all these features and go to see and analyze all your data in this case because there are more valuable information about your project, your application that in this case maybe not all the team members could see or analyze. And these tools help you to give you this insight about your application, like performance, or maybe, for example, a web page. In this case, we have, for example, like an endpoint that you have to list your clients or list some items. Maybe this function or this path is very cost effective in this case. Like it may be in this case, it will be like you can improve your performance of this application in your code, but you didn't realize that you have that problem.
All right, that's super cool. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time, Luis. Thank you very much for providing us here this intro into well, monitoring and specifically Azure monitoring systems. So thank you very much for your time here. And again, I'm sure I'm not the only person that would like to ask your advice here in terms of how we can get started with this fascinating world of DevOps. So anyone that has any questions here, I invite you very much to leave some comments and questions in the chat, both ourselves here at Encora and our global community, and Luis here himself will be in the chat there, and we can have some fun discussion here and share some advice here on how to get started in this world. And well, Luis, again, thank you very much for your time. We hope to see you again in future sessions, and thank you very much to all of you who are watching us today. And just a quick reminder that return to our official website there, everyone here in the audience, so that you can see what our schedule for our sessions are, because well, this is my third session that I've been hosting it so far, and they've all been just as interesting as the last one. So again, thank you, Luis, and thank you everybody in the audience. Have a wonderful rest of your day.